All right, we are back, and now we're moving on to my favorite part, which is the hierarchy of quadrilaterals. Um, as you can see, we have a little diagram here. This, to me, makes it the easiest, and as I explain it, hopefully you'll understand it a little better as we go. So, first of all, a quadrilateral is four-sided polygon. Again, a polygon has straight lines and is a closed shape. So the quadrilateral has to follow those rules as well. These little offshoots, the trapezoid we went over, it has one set of parallel lines. The kite is kind of stands on its own. It has two sets of equal sides, but it doesn't have any parallel lines. So that kind of is why the kite goes off on its own here. Now, as we see, we go down to parallelogram. Now, if we remember, the parallelogram has two sets of parallel lines or sides, and its opposite angles are equal, okay? And then opposite sides are equal. We go from the parallelogram to the rhombus, which has four equal sides and opposite lines are parallel, okay? Now, a rhombus, and this is where the hierarchy comes into play. A rhombus is also a parallelogram, and it is also a quadrilateral. It is a parallelogram because it does have two sets of parallel sides, just like a parallelogram. It is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. So a rhombus, if I gave you a rhombus, I would say it is a rhombus, it is a parallelogram, and it is a quadrilateral. Okay, so let's go over to rectangle. Rectangle, remember, has two sets of parallel sides, and it has four right angles, and its opposite sides are equal. So if we look at a rectangle and compare it to a parallelogram, remember what makes a parallelogram a parallelogram? Two sets of parallel sides. Does the rectangle have that? Yes. So a rectangle is also a parallelogram and is also a quadrilateral. Now it is not a rhombus because a rhombus, what makes rhombus a rhombus, is four equal sides. So a rectangle is not a rhombus, but a rectangle is also a parallelogram and a quadrilateral. And now we go to our super special square. Okay, so now what makes a square a square? It's got two sets of parallel sides. It has four equal sides, and it has four right angles. Okay, so now if we look at a rhombus has four equal sides and two sets of parallel sides. Does a square have that? Yes. So a square is also a rhombus. A rectangle has two sets of parallel sides and four right angles. Does a square have that? Yes. So a square is also a rectangle. And guess what? It is also a parallelogram. It is also a quadrilateral. It is also a polygon. So if you have a square and they ask you to describe the square or define the square, you can say a square is a rhombus, a rectangle, a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. That is the idea of the hierarchy. And hopefully that will help you answer your questions for today.